You know that feeling when a game just changes you? When you put down the controller and you're not the same person who picked it up? That's what today's about. I'm breaking down 20 must-play games that everyone should experience at least once in their lifetime. Assassin's Creed. Black Flag is the pirate game everyone's been waiting for, and it just happens to have assassins in it. This is Ubisoft at their peak, a Caribbean sandbox where naval combat, exploration, and swashbuckling adventure take center stage. You are Edward Kenway, a privateer turned pirate who stumbles into the Assassin-Templar conflict while chasing fortune and glory. But honestly, the assassin stuff takes a backseat to the sheer joy of captaining the Jackdaw, your upgradable ship, across a gorgeous open ocean. Naval combat is incredible. Broadsides slam into enemy vessels. Mortars arc through the air. You can board ships, swing across with your crew, and claim them as prizes. Upgrade the Jackdaw with better cannons, hull armor, and speed, and you'll take on legendary ships. Massive man-o'-wars that'll test every ounce of your skill. But it's also the little things that make Black Flag unforgettable. Your crew singing sea shanties as you sail, diving for shipwrecks and hidden treasure, exploring uncharted islands with Mayan ruins and secrets. Edward's transformation from selfish pirate to something more gives the story surprising emotional weight. This is about freedom, consequence, and what happens when the Golden Age ends. Cyberpunk 2077 is gaming's greatest redemption story. Yes, the launch was rough, but the game standing today, especially after the Phantom Liberty expansion and countless updates, is the definitive Cyberpunk experience you've been waiting for. Night City is breathtaking. This isn't just an open world, it's a living, breathing dystopia with verticality that makes every district feel distinct. Corpo plazas gleam with cold steel and glass. Pacifica's abandoned buildings tell stories of broken promises. Watson's neon-soaked streets pulse with street vendors and danger. The city feels alive in ways few games achieve. You're V, a mercenary, and with the option to choose your origin, corpo, nomad, or street kid, shapes how you approach the world. The gameplay variety is wide. Netrunner builds let you hack enemies without firing a shot. Stealth infiltration feels smooth and viable. Gunplay is tight and satisfying. Melee builds with mantis blades or katanas are visceral and brutal. Every playstyle works. Side content rivals main quests. Gigs feel meaningful. Relationships with characters like Judy, Panam, and River have genuine weight. This is a world worth exploring. Cyberpunk 2077 became what it was meant to be, a masterpiece. Stellar Blade is a game that proves stylish action combat is alive and well. This is Shift Up's love letter to precision gameplay, wrapped in some of the most stunning visuals you'll see in modern gaming. You play as Eve, a member of the 7th Airborne Squad sent to reclaim Earth from the Nighteba, hostile alien creatures that have driven humanity off the planet. The post-apocalyptic Earth is breathtaking in its desolation. Overgrown cities, crumbling infrastructure, and hauntingly beautiful environments create this sense of a world that once thrived but now stands as a graveyard of civilization. But let's talk about the combat, because that's where Stellar Blade shines. This is a parry-heavy system that demands your full attention. Nearly every enemy attack can be perfectly timed, and when you nail that parry, the screen flashes, the enemy is stunned, and you unleash devastating counterattacks. You're not just mashing buttons, you're reading attacks, learning patterns, waiting for that perfect moment to strike. Boss fights are battles that test everything you've learned. These aren't damage sponges. They're technical challenges that reward skill and patience, and when you finally land that killing blow after a grueling battle, the satisfaction is immense. The game also offers deep customization with different outfits and unlockable skills that let you tailor Eve's abilities to your playstyle. Want to focus on aggressive combos, defensive counters? It's all there. If you love games like Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, or Nier Automata, Stellar Blade deserves your attention. Horizon Zero Dawn answers one of gaming's most intriguing questions. What if humanity regressed to tribal culture while robot dinosaurs ruled the Earth? This is Guerrilla Games' masterpiece, a post-apocalyptic adventure that blends primitive survival with advanced technology in ways you've never seen before. You play as Aloy, an outcast from the Nora tribe, living in a world where massive mechanical creatures roam the wilderness. These aren't just enemies. They're designed ecosystems with machines mimicking real animal behavior. Grazers peacefully drink from rivers, striders migrate in herds, sawtooths hunt in packs, and then there are the giants. Thunderjaws, stormbirds, rockbreakers, apex predators that will destroy you if you're unprepared. The combat is all about strategy and planning. Every machine has weak points. You're not overpowering these machines, you're outsmarting them. Stealth through tall grass, set trapwires, scan components with your focus device, and execute calculated attacks. It's methodical, rewarding, and incredibly satisfying when your plan comes together. But what drives you forward is the mystery. How did this world come to be? Why do these machines exist? What happened to the old civilization? Aloy's journey to uncover her origins becomes humanity's journey to understand its downfall. The game slowly peels back layers of this world, and the revelations hit hard. Visually, Horizon is stunning. Lush forests, snowy mountain peaks, desert ruins, all bathed in dynamic lighting that makes every sunset feel like a painting. If you love exploration, strategic combat, and mysteries that keep you theorizing until the very end, Horizon Zero Dawn is a must-play. Dead Space Remake is engineering horror perfected for modern audiences. This is what happens when you take a survival horror masterpiece, rebuild it from the ground up with the Frostbite engine, and refuse to compromise on the terror that made the original legendary. You're Isaac Clarke, an engineer sent to repair the USG Ishimura, a massive mining ship that's gone dark. The moment you step aboard, you know something catastrophic happened here. Blood streaks across the walls, bodies are mutilated beyond recognition, and then you hear it, the skittering, the screams, the vents rattling. The necromorphs have taken over, and they want you dead. These aren't zombies. Necromorphs are reanimated corpses twisted into grotesque killing machines with blade-like limbs and horrifying designs. Headshots don't work, you have to dismember them. Plasma cutter to sever legs, line gun to slice through torsos. Every encounter is about precision under pressure, conserving ammo, and staying calm when everything is trying to make you panic. The Ishimura itself is a character. Claustrophobic corridors force you into close encounters. Zero-gravity sections disorient you. Necromorphs attack from any direction. The lighting is masterfully done. Shadows move, sparks flicker, and you're never quite sure if that shape in the distance is debris or something waiting to pounce. Audio design is crucial. Every creak, every distant scream, every hiss of a vent puts you on edge. If you want survival horror that makes you feel vulnerable, isolated, and genuinely terrified, Dead Space Remake is unmissable. Resident Evil 7 is the game that dragged the franchise back to pure, unfiltered terror. After years of action-heavy entries, Capcom made a bold choice. First-person perspective, a claustrophobic Louisiana bayou setting, and the Baker family, one of gaming's most unsettling antagonists. You're Ethan Winters, searching for your missing wife in a derelict plantation house. What starts as investigation quickly becomes a fight for survival against Jack Baker, a seemingly unkillable family patriarch who stalks you relentlessly through the house. The tension is suffocating. Every creaking floorboard, every slammed door, every moment of silence before Jack crashes through a wall keeps you on edge. This is Resident Evil returning to its roots. Limited resources, puzzle solving, and genuine vulnerability. The first-person view makes every encounter intimate and terrifying. And if you play in VR, it's the most intense horror experience in gaming. The game also works as a perfect entry point. You don't need franchise knowledge, just the courage to face the Bakers and uncover what the hell happened in that house. Red Dead Redemption 2 is the most living, breathing open world ever created. This isn't just a game. It's a time machine that drops you into 1899 America, where the age of outlaws is dying and civilization is closing in. You are Arthur Morgan, a senior enforcer in the Van der Linde gang, and from the moment you step into this world, you realize Rockstar didn't just build a map, they built an ecosystem. NPCs have daily routines. Shopkeepers open and close their stores, animals hunt each other, weather systems roll in dynamically. You can stumble upon a camp of criminals and decide whether to intervene or walk away. Arthur's journey is one of the most compelling character arcs in gaming. He's a man caught between loyalty to his gang family and the growing realization that their way of life is over. Dutch van der Linde, the gang's leader, slowly unravels as the law closes in, and you feel the weight of every decision as things spiral out of control. Will you be a ruthless outlaw or find redemption in your final days? The gameplay is amazing. Hunting isn't just point and shoot. You track animals, study them, and use the right weapon for the job. Camp management matters, donate money and supplies, and your gang thrives. Ignore it, and morale suffers. Even simple actions like greeting strangers or diffusing tense situations feel meaningful. This is a game about the end of an era, about men who refuse to change in a world that's leaving them behind. It's about loyalty, betrayal, and what it means to live and die by a code. If you haven't experienced Arthur Morgan's story, you're missing one of the greatest video game stories ever. Elden Ring is the game that took everything from software perfected and unleashed it into a massive open world that redefines exploration itself. This isn't just another Souls game, this is a fantasy epic shaped with world-building contributions from George R.R. Martin that gives you the freedom to forge your own path. You step out into Limgrave, and that golden Erd tree looms in the distance. But here's the beauty, you don't have to go straight there. See that terrifying knight on horseback? Avoid him. Spot a cave tucked into a cliffside? Explore it. The game respects your curiosity and rewards it at every turn. The combat is vintage from software. Precise, punishing, fair, but Elden Ring adds insane build variety. Magic Knight, Faith Paladin, nimble assassin, dragon warrior, you can be all of it. And the world itself is hauntingly beautiful. From the scarlet rot wastelands of Caelid to the ethereal moonlight altar, every region feels distinct and alive with secrets. What makes it special? If you hit a wall, you can leave, explore elsewhere, level up, return stronger. That boss that destroyed you, you'll come back and demolish him, and it'll feel earned. If you've never played a From Software game, this is your entry point. If you're a veteran, this is your masterpiece. Yakuza 0 is the perfect entry point to one of gaming's most beloved franchises, and honestly, it might just have more heart than any game on this list. This is a crime saga set in 1980s Japan during the bubble economy era, neon lights, excess, and the Japanese underworld at its most volatile. You experience two parallel stories. Kazuma Kiryu, a young Yakuza in Tokyo, gets framed for murder and must clear his name. Goro Majima, a disgraced Yakuza running a cabaret club, is given one chance at redemption, a hit he doesn't want to carry out. Both men are fighting for honor in a world that's forgotten what honor means, and watching their paths unfold is absolutely gripping. The brilliance of Yakuza 0 is its tonal range. One moment you're in the middle of a brutal street fight, heat action sending thugs through windows and into walls. The next moment you're singing karaoke, managing a real estate empire, dancing disco, or helping a kid find his lost toy. The game swings from heart-wrenching drama to laugh-out-loud absurdity without ever feeling jarring. It's intentional. Life in the Yakuza isn't just violence, it's humanity in all its messy, complicated forms. Combat is amazing. Both characters have multiple fighting styles. Kiryu's brawler, rush, and beast modes each feel distinct. Pick up a bicycle and smash someone with it. Grab a traffic cone and wear down your enemies. The environments are your weapons, and fights have this visceral impact that never gets old. This is a game about loyalty, about choosing your path when the world gives you impossible choices. If you've slept on the Yakuza series, start here, you won't regret it. Final Fantasy XVI is Square Enix saying, what if we took Game of Thrones political intrigue and mixed it with Devil May Cry combat? And somehow it works beautifully. This is Final Fantasy going full action RPG, and it's one of the most spectacular entries the franchise has ever delivered. You play as Clive Rosfield, a shield to his younger brother Joshua, in a world where massive crystals called Mother Crystals provide magic to warring nations. But the real power lies with dominance, individuals who can transform into icons, which are basically kaiju-sized summons. We're talking Ifrit, Shiva, Titan, Bahamut, iconic Final Fantasy summons, reimagined as world-ending forces of nature. The combat is pure adrenaline, real-time action with combos, dodges, and destructive icon abilities you unlock throughout the game. You're not just casting spells, you're summoning Phoenix Wings to dive bomb enemies, calling down Garuda's Windblades, or unleashing Titan's earth-shattering punches. It's flashy, responsive, and incredibly satisfying. Combat director Ryota Suzuki from Devil May Cry 5 brought his expertise, and you can feel it in every encounter. The story doesn't pull punches either. Political betrayal, war crimes, slavery, revenge. This is a mature Final Fantasy that earns its darker tone. Clive's journey from protector to vengeful warrior to something more is emotionally charged, and the supporting cast gives genuine depth to this war-torn world. If you've been waiting for Final Fantasy to evolve its combat while keeping that epic scope, 16 delivers. Bloodborne is From Software's darkest, most atmospheric masterpiece, a gothic horror nightmare that trades medieval castles for Victorian cobblestone streets soaked in blood. This isn't just another Souls game. This is cosmic horror meets hunter mythology. You arrive in a city afflicted by a terrible plague that transforms people into beasts. As a hunter, your job is to navigate this nightmarish city, uncover what caused this outbreak, and survive the long night of the hunt. But the deeper you go, the more you realize this isn't just about beasts. There's something far more terrifying lurking beneath the surface. Cosmic entities, forbidden knowledge, and revelations that'll make you question everything. The atmosphere is oppressive. Yarn's narrow streets are drenched in fog and shadows. Torches flicker against stone buildings. Citizens hide behind doors, warning you to leave. The haunting score kicks in during boss fights, building dread with every note. You're not just exploring, you're descending into madness itself. Combat philosophy is aggressive and rewarding. Unlike Dark Souls' defensive play, Bloodborne wants you to attack. The rally system lets you regain lost health by immediately counter-attacking, encouraging risk-taking. No shields here, just trick weapons that transform mid-combo. The Sword Cleaver extends for reach. Ludwig's Holy Blade shifts from sword to greatsword. The threaded cane becomes a whip. Every weapon feels unique, technical, and satisfying. The enemy design is nightmare fuel. Werewolf-like beasts prowl the streets. Kin writhe with too many eyes and tentacles. Bosses range from gigantic beasts to incomprehensible eldritch horrors that make your insight increase just from looking at them. Each encounter feels like a test of nerve and skill. Bloodborne doesn't explain itself. It rewards curiosity, exploration, and piecing together item descriptions and environmental storytelling. The mystery of what happened to Yharnam is one of gaming's best slow burn revelations. If you want pure gothic horror, cosmic dread, and From Software at their most nightmarish, Bloodborne has it all. The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered dropped in April 2025 as a surprise shadow release, and it's the definitive way to experience this RPG classic. Virtuos and Bethesda rebuilt the entire game in Unreal Engine 5 while keeping the original Gamebryo engine for core gameplay, giving us stunning modern visuals at 4K 60 frames per second without losing what made Oblivion special. Stepping into Cyrodiil has never looked this good. Rolling green hills, dense forests, and the Imperial City are completely remade with modern lighting and textures. All the original DLC is included, Knights of the Nine and Shivering Isles, but the real magic is still the freedom. Join the Dark Brotherhood for one of gaming's best questlines. Master the Thieves Guild, build any character you want, Sneaky Archer, Battle Mage, Conjurer. The refined combat and quality of life improvements make it more accessible while preserving the charm. God of War 2018 is the game that proved you can completely reinvent a franchise and somehow make it even better. This isn't the Kratos you remember. No more mindless rage, no more Greek pantheon. This is a story about fatherhood, redemption, and what it means to break the cycle of violence. Kratos has fled to the Norse realms with his son Atreus, and the entire game is their journey to spread his wife's ashes from the highest peak. But it's so much more than that. It's about a father who doesn't know how to connect with his son, a boy trying to understand his cold, distant dad, every moment between them, teaching Atreus to hunt, listening to his endless questions, watching him grow from scared child to capable warrior. It hits hard. The combat has been completely reinvented. The Leviathan axe feels weighty and brutal. You throw it, recall it mid-combo, freeze enemies, and the satisfying thunk when it returns to your hand never gets old. Close camera, no cuts. The entire game is one seamless shot, making every encounter intimate and cinematic. Norse mythology comes alive here. You'll meet gods with flaws, explore realms connected by the World Tree, face Draugr and trolls, and worse. This is God of War growing up. Emotionally mature, narratively complex, and mechanically brilliant. Demon's Souls Remake is where the legend began. Reborn as a jaw-dropping PS5 showcase, Bluepoint Games took From Software's 2009 cult classic and transformed it into one of the most visually stunning games ever made, all while preserving the brutal soul that started it all. Boletaria is hauntingly beautiful in this remake, ray-traced reflections, fog rolling through castle corridors, particle effects that make magic spells look like works of art. The Tower Knight boss fight, where you face a massive armored giant on a castle courtyard, is breathtaking in 4K. Every environment, from the poison swamps of the Valley of Defilement to the volcanic ruins of Stonefang Tunnel, has been recreated with modern technology, but this is still classic Souls. The world tendency system adds unique risk-reward mechanics, die in body form, and the world gets harder but offers better loot. The Archstone structure lets you tackle areas in any order. Combat is deliberate, stamina management is crucial, and bosses like Flamelurker will test your patience and skill. If you want to see where Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring all came from, this is the definitive way to experience it. Armored Core 6. Fires of Rubicon is From Software proving they're masters of more than just Souls games. This is giant mech combat at its finest. Fast, technical, and overwhelmingly intense in the best possible way. You're a mercenary, piloting an armored core on the frontier planet Rubicon, caught between corporate factions fighting over a dangerous substance called coral. But honestly, the story takes a backseat to the pure joy of building and piloting your perfect machine of mass destruction. The customization is creative. Every part matters. Legs determine mobility, arms affect weapon handling, cores impact energy and defense. You can build a lightweight speedster with dual machine guns, a tank that absorbs punishment while firing plasma cannons, or a hover unit raining missiles from above. Finding the build that clicks with your playstyle is half the experience. The combat is chaotic. You're boost dodging through the air, managing energy, swapping between 4 weapons, and targeting weak points, all while enemy armored cores do the same to you. Boss fights against other skilled pilots are pulse-pounding duels of positioning and resource management. The mission structure encourages replayability with branching paths and multiple endings. And yes, it's FromSoft difficult, but in a completely different way than Souls games. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is the most demanding, brutally rewarding action game ever made. This isn't for everyone, but for those who conquer it, nothing else in the genre comes close. You're Ryu Hayabusa, Master Ninja, and the game expects mastery from frame 1. Combat is relentlessly aggressive. Enemies swarm you, attack from every angle, and punish hesitation. The dismemberment system is visceral. Severed limbs don't stop enemies, they make them more dangerous. A fiend crawling toward you with one arm, desperate to explode and take you down, creates constant pressure. Perfect dodge timing, managing essence absorption for healing, and ultimate techniques. The Dragon Sword, Lunar Staff, Falcon's Talons, every weapon has depth that takes hours to master. And the Boss Gauntlet, unforgiving. Each encounter tests everything you've learned. The difficulty reputation is earned, you will die constantly, you will want to quit. But when you finally perfect a chapter, reading every enemy pattern, flowing through combat like water, it's transcendent, Ninja Gaiden. 2 Black doesn't hold your hand and doesn't apologize. It demands excellence and rewards it like nothing else. Shadow of the Colossus is gaming as pure art. 16 boss battles, 0 filler, 1 emotionally devastating journey. Bluepoint's 2018 remake takes Fumito Ueda's minimalist masterpiece and makes it more beautiful than ever before. You are Wanda, riding into the Forbidden Lands with your horse, aggro, and a fallen girl you're desperate to save. A mysterious voice offers a deal, slay 16 colossi, massive ancient beings scattered across this desolate world, and she'll be revived. So you ride out, find them, and climb them. Each colossus is a puzzle, a platforming challenge, and an epic battle rolled into one. You grab fur, scale stone bodies the size of buildings, find weak points while holding on for dear life as they thrash and try to shake you off. Stabbing a sigil as orchestral music swells is triumphant and tragic. The world is hauntingly empty, no towns, no NPCs, just you, aggro, and these giant creatures. And as you progress, you start to feel it, the weight of what you're doing. These aren't monsters, they're guardians. Peaceful until you provoke them. The art direction, the score, the emotional undercurrent. Shadow of the Colossus is an experience everyone should have. Batman Arkham Knight is the definitive Batman experience, the culmination of Rocksteady's trilogy that lets you truly feel like the Dark Knight. This is Gotham at its most atmospheric, rain-soaked, and overrun with chaos as Scarecrow's fear toxin threatens to destroy the city. The free-flow combat system reaches perfection here. Counters, gadget integration, fear takedowns that let you drop 5 thugs in seconds. It's rhythmic, brutal, and endlessly satisfying. Predator sections are tense masterclasses in picking off enemies one by one, using every tool in Batman's arsenal. The Batmobile edition is divisive but undeniably impressive. Tank battles and high-speed chases through Gotham's streets feel powerful, and the seamless transition from driving to gliding to combat creates Batman power fantasy moments. Whether you love it or not, it's integrated deeply into the experience. Gotham itself is gorgeous. Neon signs reflecting off wet pavement, gargoyles perched on Gothic architecture, the city pulsing with criminal activity. Scarecrow orchestrates the chaos while a rogues gallery, including Two-Face, Penguin, Riddler, and more, create layered threats. The story goes dark, testing Batman's moral code in ways previous games didn't. Kevin Conroy's voice performance is legendary, and the emotional weight of this being the trilogy's finale hits hard. Warhammer 40,000. Space Marine 2 finally delivers the power fantasy the franchise deserves. You genuinely feel like an 8-foot-tall, genetically enhanced super soldier tearing through Xenos scum. You're Lieutenant Titus of the Ultramarines, facing a Tyranid invasion that puts thousands of alien creatures on screen simultaneously. The sheer visual chaos is staggering. Swarms flooding across battlefields, biovessels crashing from orbit, all while you're chainsawing through chitin and bone. Executing enemies with brutal glory kills restores your armor, encouraging aggression over cover shooting. The bolter feels perfect. That iconic thunk 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 as mass reactive shells explode inside targets. Chainswords rev and tear, thunder hammers send bodies flying. Every weapon captures the brutality of the 40k universe. Combat is weighty, deliberate, and satisfying in that distinctly Space Marine way. But the real longevity is in Operations mode. Multiplayer PvE missions with distinct classes, loadout customization, and escalating difficulty. You'll replay missions for better gear, experiment with different playstyles, and coordinate with your squad against overwhelming odds. The grimdark atmosphere is perfect. Gothic architecture, desperate last stands, and the Imperium's fanatical devotion to the God Emperor, it's Warhammer brought to life. Space Marine 2 is the 40k game fans have been waiting decades for. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut is the samurai fantasy you've always dreamed of, a breathtaking journey through feudal Japan that feels like playing through a Kurosawa film. This is Sucker Punch's masterpiece. You are Jin Sakai, one of the last samurai on Tsushima Island as the Mongol invasion devastates your home. The story is about honor versus survival. Do you face enemies in honorable duels, or embrace the way of the ghost, using stealth, poison, and fear tactics to save your people? Jin's internal struggle gives emotional weight to every choice. Tsushima itself is stunning. Golden fields of pampas grass sway in the wind. Cherry blossoms fall like snow. Autumn forests glow with red and orange. Shrines perch on cliffsides overlooking the sea. Every frame looks like a painting. Combat is beautiful and deadly. The stance system lets you adapt to different enemy types. Stone stance for swordsmen, water stance for shielded foes. Standoffs let you cut down enemies in tense quick-draw moments. Ghost weapons like smoke bombs and kunai give tactical options. It's challenging but fair, rewarding patience and precision. The director's cut adds Aiki Island expansion, more story and deeper exploration of Jin's past. Ghost of Tsushima is a love letter to samurai cinema, Japanese culture, and the beauty of exploration. If you haven't walked the path of the Ghost, you're missing one of gaming's most unforgettable experiences. And there you have it, 20 games that everyone should experience at least once. These aren't just great games. They're experiences that stay with you, that remind you why you fell in love with gaming in the first place. So here's my question for you. What's your all-time must-play game? The one you'd put on a list like this without hesitation? Drop it in the comments below. I want to know what games have left their mark on you. If you enjoyed this list, leave a like and subscribe for more.